Hi there, Psychic Bobbi-el from Maui, Hawaii. Gonna be doing another LeNormand deck review today. This is a part of a very long series of LeNormand decks reviews that I'm going to be doing. So anyway, today I am going to be reviewing KENDRA'S Vintage Petite LeNormand. And if you just give me a second or two, I'm going to make sure that these are on the camera. There we go. Okay. So I'm not quite sure when these were made. I think it's been a couple of years. Don't know the exact date. Sorry about that, Kendra. But this is one of the loveliest vintage decks I think that's around. It's very unique because it's done horizontally as opposed to vertically, and one of the cutest things I think about this deck is the man and the woman. I just love how the guy is stretching his arm out to her and she's stretching her arm out to him. I mean, I just think that's such a brilliant idea. Love the coloring, love the feel of these cards. They're just so lovely. Now, that being said, it's a little difficult to work with these cards because of their layout. So when you're doing a grand tableau, or when I'm doing one, it just makes it a little difficult. So, yeah, anyway, let's go through these. Let me make sure that you can see these clearly. I have my computer turned around, so it's very difficult to see. So I just love some of these pictures. I just think they're so beautiful. And even though they are a little busy, I do think they're very cute. Again, I'd like to see only a heart in the picture and not a couple in the picture, because the heart doesn't always mean just a couple together and that you're in love or whatever. So that could be a little confusing. Love the mountains. The mice are so adorable. Love the path, although paths should always be split up. There should always be a fork in the road. The garden's beautiful. However, there's a girl in there in the garden, and I'd rather there be a garden with no woman in there. That could make a reading a little confusing, especially for beginners. Love the dog. Beautiful. The tower could be misconstrued as possibly being a house. I have seen mansions and homes like this. So even though I love this photograph, there's also some really dark clouds and some light clouds here. So, you know, at a quick glance, a beginner looking at this, I would, and I was a little confused. Is this a cloud picture? What is this? So I'd rather just see a tower. Love the fox. Really a great little shot there. And again, you know, these stars are lovely, but it looks like there's a bunch of little cherubs or angels or something in there, and I'd rather just see stars. So it can be, these can be a little busy, but really, really lovely. And again, a scythe picture should just be a scythe, and there should not be people in with a scythe, especially this little baby being dropped by a stork. So that's a little confusing at first glance. Love the birds. The bouquet is really just, actually looks like just a couple little roses there. I'd rather see a whole entire bouquet of flowers. The whip is really awesome. The tree is really lovely. The snake is great, although there's a mouse in the snake's mouth, and I'd rather not see a mouse in with a snake card. because I think the mice should be separated, you know, and maybe I am a little anal about my LeNormand cards, and, you know, that's just the way it goes. I find that some of these busy cards are just a little difficult to read at first, especially if you're reading from a bunch of different LeNormand cards, because I do change out every day that I read cards, and I read them every day, so, and I have a lot of cards, so it can make it just a little confusing, and it slows me down. And, you know, I do so many readings. I don't like to be slow for people because, you know, they're paying money to get a reading from me. And I like to just keep it a really good, fast pace to save them time and money. Yeah, and, you know, when I first glance at this, certainly the cross jumps out, but also there's consider the lilies, so you know, and there's a lily card, so that's a little confusing to me at first. I absolutely love this fish card. Even though there's one fish and there's even flowers in here, usually the fish card are mini fish, and the flowers make it just slightly confusing, but I do love that photograph. And also, you know, the fish is reading a paper, and it could look like a letter or journal or what have you, so that can be a little confusing for me. The sun is beautiful, and love the moon. I wish that this word chums was not in there, but I do love that moon. And also these are quite lovely, the water lilies, even though they're not traditionally it's the beautiful white Easter lilies. So also this deck comes with a couple extra cards, which also, again, to me are a little confusing. An extra gents card, a gentleman, and extra ladies, and traditionally there's just one gentleman and one lady. So of course you can pick. It just makes it a little more difficult. And then there's also an extra mirror card, number 37, and that's very interesting. So anyway, that's it for the review today of KENDRA'S Vintage Petite LeNormand, and this is Psychic Bobbi-el of Maui, Hawaii. Feel free to give me a call for a reading, or I'm happy to do a review on your card deck. So just let me know, and have a wonderful day. Much aloha. Bye-bye.